Danganronpa.
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Coco's here with Dane, and we are continuing Danganronpa 2. We already went ahead and looked through everything before the start of this episode, so let's just get started.
Yeah, we got this under control. Just leave it to us.
Alright, and yeah, like as I mentioned before, during the trial they do speak in Japanese, so voice everything, so just give them a little bit of time before you voice.
Alright, sounds good.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. Oh, sorry, I was a little too quick on that. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh my, Monomi? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Chesto!
Poor Monomi.
One more time! Jeez, how about this one?
Oh my god. Hurrah!
This'll be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious. If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor's obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
That might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call that when we were in danger. Wait, don't tell me you're the traitor!
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
That's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry up and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or
Torture wound, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma panels, or later, Monokuma account. Well, let's see what everyone's saying. Killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him. The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds is because the killer tortured Nagito. That's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bombs first. That was Fukuhiko. They found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone. Why did the killer have to oh, sorry.
why did the killer have to torture Nagito? No. Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
Alright, okay. So out of all of these... Well... Well, I wouldn't say that they were trying to get any information out of him, because why would they duct tape his mouth if that was the case?
Yeah, that's true. But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
Oh fuck, I hate these things. I mean, they're good, but since you know my whole issue with space on the computer, I have this on the external hard drive, so it just gets so laggy that it makes it such a pain. It makes all these mini games a pain.
Okay. Oh, I just realized it! It's a trap! Trap? Stupid Hajime! You got caught in that trap! Stupid?
Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie oil lighter. Let's see the thing.
Kazuichi seems unusually confident. I should ask him why that is.
でも口を塞いだら
What?
本当に何も聞き出すことができないぞ。
Are we still on the duct tape?
いいか、まず犯人は狛枝を爆弾の情報を聞き出したんだ。そんであいつをぶっ殺した後に
さあ、
確かに狛枝の口が塞がれてりゃ満足に喋れねえと思うわな。でもそれがトラップだ。何かを聞き出したと悟らせねえためのな。
聞くわけにはいかない。でも口を塞いだら本当に何も聞き出すことができないぞ。
いいか、真相。まず犯人は狛枝を拷問し爆弾の情報を聞き出したんだ。そんであいつをぶっ殺した後、
その言葉切らせてもらう。いや、ガムテープが貼られたのは間違いなく狛枝が痛めつけられる前なんだ。
Yeah, why otherwise why would it like show that he clearly was desperately struggling under the duct?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
なんだと。
What did you say?
もうガムテープの話なんていい。
Ugh. Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
じゃんけんに頼るまでもなく、ガムテープは拷問の前に貼られたもので決定だよ。
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
なんで日向の肩ばっか持つんだよ。あいつのことが好きなのかよ。
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something? Are you in elementary school or something?
私が狛枝くんの口からガムテープを剥がしたとき、ソーダくんも一緒にいたよね。
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right?
ほら、狛枝くんの顔の血痕ってガムテープの下にはついてなかったでしょ？
The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
狛枝の顔の血痕はあいつの腕の傷から飛んだものだった。
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds,
つまりあのガムテープはあいつが腕を傷つけられる前から貼られてたってことだ。
which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
それに、あのガムテープって口の内側に向かってシワがたくさんできてたよ。
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth.
きっと彼はガムテープの下で必死に口を動かしてたんじゃないかな。
He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
むしろあのガムテープは叫び声を上げさせねえためのものか。
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream.
ってことは、やっぱ俺が最初に言った通りだろ。拷問じゃなくて口封じが目的だ。
Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
ですが、目的が口封じなら、あそこまで必要に痛めつける必要はないと思います。
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
きっとよっぽど狛枝が憎かったんだろう。
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
では、犯人はただ苦しませるためだけにあそこまでのことをしたとおっしゃるのですか？
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
だとしたら正気の沙汰じゃねえな。そいつは狂っちまってんじゃねえのか？
If so, that's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
いや、ただ狂ってるだけじゃねえ。それに加えてかなり狡猾な野郎だぞ。
Nah, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard.
そうでなきゃ現場に放火して 丸ごと証拠隠滅させるなんて真似はできっこね。
If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
倉庫の火事って証拠隠滅のためだったのか？
Huh? The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence.
それ以外に考えらんねえだろ。
We can't think of any other reason.
ただ問題はそれをどなたがやったかです。
But who could have done that?
あの火事があった時はここにいる全員が倉庫の前に揃っていました。
When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
ああ。そんで俺が倉庫の扉を開けた直後に奥から火が上がったんだもんな。
Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
つまりここにいる誰かが放火したとは考えられないはずなのですが。
Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
犯人は俺ら以外にいる。なわけねえよな。今更って感じだもんな。
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
偶然にしたってタイミングが良すぎるしな。
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
今までのパターンからすると
Based on the pattern up until now.
ここに何らかの仕掛けが使われていると考えるべきかもしれませんね。
We should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
何らかの仕掛けってなんだよ。
Some kind of setup? Like what?
それはわかりませんが、でも今までは大体そうだったじゃないですか。
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
さすがはソニアさん。凄まじく高い学習能力を誇ってらっしゃる。
That's our Miss Sonia! You have such an amazingly high intellect!
よっしゃ、ソニアさんの意見を元に考えてみようぜ。それでいいですよね、ソニアさん。
Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
承知の助です。
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first.
Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma, plushie, Monokuma. So let's see. I think we can eliminate torture wounds, survival knife. Oh, alright. The
あの火事の直接的なきっかけは
direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
犯人は何
The
らか
killer
の仕
used
掛け
some
を使っ
kind of
て
setup
ライターからカーテンに
and
火を
lit
つ
the
けた。
curtain on fire with the lighter.
何らかの仕掛けって
Some kind of setup.
オイルを導火線代わ
They
りにした
used
の
the
かも
oil
な。
as an improvised fuse.
単純にライターを舐
They
めただけ
probably
だろ。
just threw the lighter.
あの形状のオイ
Based on
ル
the
ライ
shape
タ
of
ー
that
な
oil
ら
lighter,
火をつけたまま立たせられますよ
can't
ね。
stand upright while the flame is lit.
何らかの方
If
法
they
で
took
ライタ
over the
ーを
lighter
倒
in
せば
some way. Oh, okay.
カーテンに引火
It's
する
gonna
か
be
も
the
しれません。
panels, I think. I could have ignited the curtain
何らかの方法って
some way.
見えない糸を
Maybe they use an invisible thread.
音の振動で倒す方法だってある
It
は
could
ず。
have been, yep. No.
もしくは扉が開いたきっかけで
Opening the door.
激しい風圧がライ
Yes,
ターを
I
倒し
think
たの
that's
で
it.
す。
Because the fire only started after we opened the door. And the panels were leading from the door towards the center.
Some kind of setup was used to start that fire. So what could it be?
あの火事の直現場にあった
犯人はライターからか。
何らかの仕掛けって
オイルを導火線代わりにしたのかもな。
単純にライターを投げただけだろ。
あの形状のオイルライト火をつけたままただ
何らかの方法カーテンに引火するかもし
何らかの方法って
見えない糸を使ったとか。
音の振動で倒す方法だってあるはずだ。
もしくは扉が開いたきっかけで
それに賛成だ。扉が開いたことがきっかけになったって意見には俺も賛成だ。
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
やはり風圧ですね。ジャパニーズかまいたちですね。
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
いや、風圧じゃなくてきっとモノクマのパネルを使ったんだ。
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
現場にモノクマのパネルが大量に倒れてただろ。
A huge number of tipped over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right?
あれは無造作に倒れてるように見えたけど、一列だけ綺麗に折り重なるようにして倒れてたんだ。
It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were lying on top of each other in a single line.
倉庫の扉から火元までの一列だけがな。
Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
それに何か意味があったのか？
Does that mean anything?
きっと犯人はあのモノクマのパネルを利用してドミノ倒しの仕掛けを作ったんだ。
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
ドミノ倒しって並べた牌をパタパタと倒して遊ぶあれのことだよな。
A domino effect? You mean the pizza place? Oh no, you mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over.
犯人はその牌の代わりにモノクマのパネルを使ったんだよ。
In place of the tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels.
私たちが倉庫の扉を開けると扉に押された最初のパネルが倒れて
So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second.
そこからパネルがドミノ式に倒れていって最後にライターからカーテンに引火する仕掛けだね。
Okay, but so such a stretch that they were able to flip the lighter on.
Yeah. Well, no, I think no, they turned the lighter on first, like, and then left it there because an oil lighter can just stay lit. Like,
Oh, okay, I see then. Okay.
it was just for tipping it over.
Gotcha. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
けどあんな大きなパネルが倒れてったらさすがに誰か気づくんじゃねえか？
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
気づいてほしくないからこそグッズ倉庫の照明を消してたんだろうな。
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
あの倉庫が暗かったのって俺たちからドミノ倒しの仕掛けを隠すためだったのか？
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
それともう一つ犯人がドミノ倒しを隠すためにやったことがあったよね。
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one other thing to try to hide the domino effect?
それってあの MP3 プレイヤーのことだな。
You're talking about the MP3 player, right?
倉庫で鳴り響いてたあの賛美歌はパネルが倒れていく音を隠すためのものだったんだろう。
That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels. The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume.
Hey, you guys hear something?
Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap?
No, I'm not talking about the music.
And as if on cue, it suddenly started.
そうか。俺が気になった音ってパネルが倒れていく音だったんだな。
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
でも尾張さんが違和感を抱いたのってあの音だけじゃないよね。
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right?
今振り返ると倉庫の扉を開けた時もだよね。
Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse. It's fine, I'll open it slowly.
No, that's not the problem.
Seriously, it'll be fine.
With those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse.
Huh? It's not opening. There's something blocking the door? I can barely open it.
I knew it! It's a trap! Seriously, just stop it, okay?
Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force.
What happened to opening it slowly? Akane ignored their protests, and with a mighty kick, the door flew open. Bam!
あの時扉につっかえてたのがモノクマのパネルだったのか。
Ah! So the door was being blocked by Monokuma panel.
そこで扉を開けたことによってドミノ倒しが始まり、倒れていったパネルが最終的にはライターを倒して。
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
そうやってグッズ倉庫が火事になったはずなんだけど。
Yeah, that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
なんか浮かねえ顔だな。
You don't look so sure.
あの時尾張さんは言ってたよね。扉が少ししか開かないって。
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
パネルがつっかえてたせいだろ。
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
あの時の隙間ってさ、とても人とかが出入りできる隙間じゃなかったよね。
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
それが何か問題なのか？
Is that a problem?
大問題だよ。だってグッズ倉庫の出入り口ってあそこだけなんだし。
It's a major problem. I mean, the door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse. I see, so the problem Chiaki's talking about is...
そういうことだよ。だってグッズ倉庫の出入り口ってあそこだけなんだし。 It's a major problem. I mean, the door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
。
扉が少ししか開かないくらいパネルを密着させておいたら。
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened.
中にいた犯人も外に出られなくなるよな。
The killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
See ya!
Long time no see, Edgeworth! Huh? Ah! Mr. Edgeworth! You know him from somewhere? Of course! I'm his biggest fan. Oh, Christ.
Christ.
My sister introduced us once and... Right. Her sister was the chief prosecutor after all. You might want to remember that, Phoenix.
Well, what brings you here? I'll warn you, I've been known to be a real stuck-up jerk.
No, did I no! It was just Mr. Right here, he, God damn, shot in the back and thrown under the bus! This is the real murder! Hey! Don't blame me!